This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for our next installment for the BYF Ambassadors, My Journey to Construction. We are with David today. I'm going to let him get us started by telling us who he is and what he does.
Hi, thanks for having me, Matthew. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. I am David Dalton. I work for the Indiana Department of Transportation, and I am their Workforce Development Director. And in my role, I'm really responsible for making connections to high schoolers, to educational providers and nonprofits to really look at different talent pipelines and figure out how we can provide opportunities for individuals to get a foot in the door within some of the skilled positions that we have within our agency in highway construction.
Will you tell us a little bit about why you're passionate about that and why you feel like it's important for high school students to consider the skilled trades and maybe even specifically working at a place like NDOT?
Sure, yeah, I think, right now it's a really good opportunity for high schoolers to engage in skilled trades simply because there's so many jobs right now. There's a lot of people that are in the process of retiring, so we have a workforce in our industry of individuals that have been there for a long time, and so they're starting to retire, and so we need a group of individuals that are excited and eager to take on some of those challenges of getting into these opportunities. So when we look at NDOT, we have positions ranging from highway maintenance to automotive to construction labor, project engineers. So when we look at our workforce, we're really, there's just so many opportunities. And I think this is an industry, specifically highway, that isn't going anywhere. There's a lot of resiliency, and I think we need people that are excited to come and work for us.
Awesome. Will you tell us about your favorite part of your job? What do you really enjoy doing day to day?
Honestly, I enjoy just making connections. I think there's a lot of good people that I have the opportunity to speak with and to connect with. And so, what I really get excited about is seeing individuals, students that are going into these professions and that I can talk to and share stories about how people are getting connected to all these different opportunities within highway construction. I really like to build relationships and just really connect with people. And I think this job gives me the opportunity to build those relationships. And when I came into NDOT, I honestly, this position was brand new. So I had to really figure out kind of what the needs were. And so being able to build programs and develop training opportunities from the ground up is just really exciting for me. And I think that's one thing that's been a lot of fun. And there's no day that's the same for me. And I really enjoy the fact that, I have to adapt to the day to day. And so that's the challenge, and then just the people.
Yeah, building relationships is a key component, I think, for what a lot of us do day in and day out for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
Tell us a little bit about your background, maybe specifically, where'd you get your start? What was your very first job and what was that like for you?
Sure. Well, Um, I would say honestly, when I was about 14 or 15, I my first actual job was a summer job, and I was pollinating and cutting corn in a cornfield. Long days out in the cornfield. It was really, it was hot. It was hard work, and I was just trying to earn enough money probably to buy a PlayStation, to be honest, at the time. But then after that, I worked at Subway for a while, just in food services, and then from there, I kind of started to trend more towards working in libraries and bookstores, and so that's kind of a big retail customer service. And I think having that experience of customer service really laid the foundation of a lot of the work that I do today. So I think there's a lot of skills that you gain early on that really translate the older you get to different careers.
You mentioned that for NDOT, part of your job is to make the connections and to help high school students get
Yeah,
connected to the in between before they maybe end up at NDOT. What are the types of things, credentials or certifications or even skill sets that are helpful for an employee who might be thinking about joining the NDOT team?
sure. And our workforce really the majority of the individuals that are starting out, usually will begin in our highway maintenance positions. So those are the men and women responsible for keeping our roadways safe and clean. We also have a lot of different shops with mechanics. So some of the certifications that we're really looking for are, every one of our drivers in our maintenance positions has to have a CDLB. And we do, the great thing about that is if you come to us with it, that's fantastic. But if you don't have it, we will train you to earn a CDLB. So if you like driving large trucks, using equipment, that's something that we'll train you on. But if you have that certification to begin with, that's great. I think we also value ASC certification, so your Automotive Service Excellence certification. So if you have some experience working on equipment, or you like being outside and working with your hands, those are all valuable skills that we really look for. And I think as an industry as a whole, anybody that comes to us with that kind of skill set, they're going to find a place for sure with us and probably some of our industry partners. And then finally, construction certifications as well. So if you're thinking about the NCCER certification, that also has a lot of value too. And any kind of skilled trades that you can get while you're in school and learn, I think that will add value for us.
As you think about employees or students in our case that'll be future employees joining an organization like NDOT, what do you think about are compelling reasons why someone should consider construction, and maybe even specifically the horizontal construction industry, for their future?
Sure. Well, like I mentioned, I don't think those jobs are staying. They're not going anywhere. There's a very significant demand for these kind of positions across our state and probably across the United States. And specifically, when you look at the workforce, and I mentioned this earlier, there's just a lot of people that are in the process. They've been in it for a while, and they're starting to exit out. And so we need to think about how we can get people into these positions at an earlier age and get them excited about it. And I will say specifically to highway, there is an initiative, you may have heard of next level jobs, but there's also next level roads, which our governor in our state actually has signed off for $60 billion worth of funding for highway projects over the next 20 years. So if you think about that, that check has been signed, and that means this industry as a whole, there's a lot of job security and there's a lot of opportunity if you come and work for our agency, the Department of Transportation. And if you look at the contractors that are out there performing the day-to-day operations and labor, they're going to need employees, and they're going to need people that are excited and enthusiastic to come and work for them. And these jobs are here to stay. And that's the great thing about this industry, is that it's very resilient. And I think the sky's the limit if you decide that this is the career path for you.
Awesome, David. We're wrapping up our time together,
Sure.
But I just want to give you one last chance. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience, knowing it's high school students that are probably in a CTE course that have started exploring construction already? Is there any parting wisdom you'd like to share, or anything else that you just want to wrap us up with?
Sure. Well, I would just say, as much as it is as important to have some of those hands-on skills, I would just say make sure that you possess some of those soft skills as well. So having good communication skills, showing up on time, having a good work ethic, a positive attitude. That's just one thing that I think every employer, especially within our industry and in construction, we want people that are enthusiastic and that are team players. So having the skilled, the hands-on skills is important, but just as important, think about just all those soft skills that you're going to bring. And and I would just say it's okay to not know exactly what you want to do, but the best thing that you can do is try, put yourself out there, do job shadows if you can, internships, apprenticeships, anything that'll give you exposure and an opportunity to kind of see what it is before you actually commit to it. And I think if this is the career for you, I think you'll find it very, very rewarding and with a lot of career growth and opportunity. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for spending your time with us this afternoon. Everybody else on the video, thanks so much for taking a chance to learn a little bit more about another journey to construction, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you for having me.